Coming up on Around San Diego, we have a working for you follow-up after a church that lost its property insurance is now tens of thousands of dollars in debt. We'll explain why and how you can help. And a man is recovering after he was bit by a shark at a beach in Del Mar. How you can keep yourself safe in the water. Plus, there's a new scam targeting SDGE customers, what you need to watch out for. Thanks for joining us as we take you around San Diego. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day. I'll get you caught up on a week's worth of news and look ahead in less than 30 minutes. We do begin with a working for you follow-up.
That's it. They didn't give me a chance to say, fix this in 10 days. None of that. Just you're out.
Yeah, so this is an update on a church in Mount Hope that had its insurance abruptly canceled based on satellite images of its roof. CBS 8's Shannon Handy is working for you on this story, which really hit home with our viewers.
2 weeks ago, this church was in the process of getting a brand new roof put on, not by choice. That work has since been complete, but the church is now about $80,000 in the hole.
That we're hurt. We're in trouble.
Pastor Cindy Buggs at Greater Center Church in God in Christ in Mount Hope says he had no choice but to pay for a new roof after Guy One, the company he had been with for years, abruptly canceled his policy based solely on satellite images, which they say showed broken shingles.
I was canceled without notice. What qualifies an insurance adjuster in an office anywhere to look at a satellite picture and determine that the whole roof needs to be repaired?
We first met Pastor Buggs a couple of weeks ago. He shared the report with us with the image the company said he used. According to this, there's no structural damage, no missing shingles, no rust, patching, or ponding. In fact, it says it had 81% confidence in the shingles. We reached out to Guy One. They told us they do not comment on private matters and would not respond to follow-up questions. The whole situation has been detrimental for Pastor Buggs and his congregation of 100 members. Because Guy One dropped their policy, they were forced to replace the roof so another company would pick them up. They had to take out a loan to cover the $51,000 roof they don't need, plus find a new policy elsewhere, which cost them over $20,000, $15,000 more than what they have been paying.
So it took a loan of $80,000 to get the whole project complete and get the insurance done, because otherwise we came within a week of having to close our doors.
To add insult to injury, Pastor Buggs just received this notice of violation from the city of San Diego, telling him to cover graffiti outside his church, another expense he can't afford.
Last year, I spent close to $11,000 just taking graffiti off of that wall.
I reached out to the city. A spokesperson told me while the city makes every effort to not cite victims of graffiti vandalism, they did so after 3 get-it-done reports, noting if the wall is taken care of, Pastor Buggs won't pay a fine. Pastor Buggs wants someone to step forward and paint a mural on the wall. Meantime, he hopes to recoup some of the money already spent by planning a fundraiser for later this summer. I'll share details when they're sent. He's also accepting donations via Givelify, saying while the church has an abundance of faith, they can't say the same for resources.
We have the broken. We don't have any grants or anything like that that feeds money into us.
Working for you, I'm Shannon Handy for CBS 8.
Shannon, thank you. And right now, a new scam is targeting SDG&E customers. The scammers are using legitimate sounding text messages and high-pressure tactics to convince people to either pay up immediately or risk losing their power. They tell you to call the number provided as soon as possible. Customers who do call are ultimately connected with a live and fraudulent operator posing as an SDG&E employee.
If somebody's asking for payment directly over the phone and there's a live person, a live operator, that's not San Diego Gas and Electric.
Yeah, so never use a callback number provided by an unknown sender. Instead, call San Diego Gas and Electric's main customer line to verify the message. And remember, non-traditional payment methods like Bitcoin, Zelle, or prepaid cash cards are never used by SDG&E. Well, right now, the Del Mar beach is open again after a man was bitten by a shark. Lifeguards say the 46-year-old man made it through surgery and is now in intensive care. Expected to survive, though. We talked to the first person to reach the man after he was bitten on Sunday. He said that he was conscious and really stayed remarkably calm.
There's a lot of great whites in the San Diego waters, and they're not out to get us. I mean, this evidenced by this one here. It didn't eat him, right? It took one bite and it left.
So no matter what precautions people take, incidents will happen. But just like when you go in the woods and you know there's bears, knowing the proper procedures can help you stay safe.
Yeah, I always kind of call it a try it bite. They're just trying to figure out what you are. But yeah, we are coexisting. It's wild. So the procedures do include avoiding the water at dawn or dusk and try to calmly leave the water if you see a shark. Well, this week, President Biden announced a new sweeping executive order on immigration, blocking some migrants seeking asylum from entering the U.S. The move allows immigration officials to quickly deport migrants who enter the U.S. without an asylum appointment, when the weekly average of illegal daily entries exceeds 2,500. We spoke with Executive Director of the Southern Border Communities Coalition, Lillian Serrano. She says the president's executive action will not work.
When somebody's life is in danger and they're making the toughest decision of their lives, which is to leave their home and everything they know, announcement by a foreign president is not part of the equation.
Yeah, so courts have previously blocked similar immigration policies under the Trump administration, and the ACLU is already saying it intends to sue over the new action. Well, all 18 mayors in San Diego County have signed a letter to Governor Gavin Newsom demanding state officials declare a state of emergency over the ongoing sewage crisis in the South Bay. So far, Newsom has not done so, but has previously advocated for using federal funding and action. South Bay leaders also want the CDC to help determine how sewage exposure is impacting the health of residents. The mayor of Imperial Beach shared with us what she would tell the governor in person.
Plead to the governor for more support and more help and more intervention as if his children lived in this community, because our children are getting sick.
Yeah, so there is a new short-term strategy for tackling the sewage crisis in the Tijuana River Valley. County leaders approved $100,000 to provide air purifiers to communities directly impacted by the smell. While many residents say they appreciate this, they are also pushing for more long-term solutions.
I mean, it only helps when you're in your house. You know, you leave your house and it's like you get hit with all that.
Yeah, so county leaders say the goal is to get air purifiers to residents and businesses by the end of summer. Well, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria is urging the city council to pass a budget for the coming fiscal year, which includes $88 million set aside for stormwater infrastructure. Mayor Gloria says the city has already secured another $700 million in federal funding to upgrade the system. This week, we asked the mayor what he has to say to the January flood victims who tell us this money comes a little too late.
We are doing all that we can to try and invest in upgrading our infrastructure in these historically underserved communities. These are neighborhoods that are in excess of 100 years old, but they're still being serviced by 100-year-old infrastructure. We need to upgrade and improve them.
Yeah, city report this year estimated it's going to cost at least $2 billion over the next 5 years to pay for infrastructure repairs and upgrades after years of neglect. The budget goes to the full council for a vote this coming week. Well, we know it's a tough market for home buyers. Home prices have skyrocketed across the country by about 50% over the last 5 years, including San Diego. That's all according to Realtor.com, which says the median listing price in our market is well over $1 million. It adds there was an even bigger jump in price when you look at the cost per square foot of a home. That has gone up 65% since 2019. Realtors that we spoke with say that this means your money isn't going as far as it once did.
Typically, we look at the median price to judge how the market's doing because it's a good middle ground of what's for sale. And if the median price is over $1 million, that tells us that we're not necessarily talking about luxury at that price point.
Yeah, so realtors do add this is a seller's market. Well, San Diego founded Rubio's Coastal Grill is filing for bankruptcy. The filing comes after the abrupt closures of dozens of what the company called underperforming locations across California, including 13 here in San Diego. In a statement, Rubio said it's the result of rising business costs. 86 stores in California, Arizona, and Nevada will remain open. Rubio says it believes the best path forward is through a court-supervised sale process that is expected to be complete within 75 days. Well, Padres infielder Tucupita Marcano is permanently banned from the MLB for betting on baseball. 4 other players are also suspended after placing unrelated bets with a legal sports book. Now, these bets allegedly happened last year when Marcano was on the Pirates but injured. The Padres selected Marcano off waivers during the offseason, but he has not yet played for the Padres this year. The MLB says none of the players bet on games they played in, and the players claim they had no insider information about the game's outcomes. Well, more big news for soccer fans. San Diego FC announced Herving Chucky Lozano has signed with the club, making him the first designated player in club history. Chucky has signed a 4-year contract through the end of the 2028 MLS season with 2 option years. The Mexican international will transfer to San Diego FC from his current club in the Netherlands on January 1st of next year. San Diego FC will officially introduce Chucky to fans in San Diego on June 13th, followed by a fan fest at the Rady Shell. Right now, you can buy limited edition Chucky Lozano merchandise online. How exciting. Coming up, a teacher is training to do something extraordinary outside of the classroom. That is to swim the English Channel. We'll take you in the Zevely zone and explain just how much this accomplishment will mean to her. Swimming the English Channel certainly takes stamina and strength, but imagine taking on that challenge while fighting Parkinson's disease. As we take you in the Zevely zone, Jeff heads to La Jolla Shores for a stroke of inspiration.
Ellen de la Cruz may be training in the Pacific Ocean, but it's the Atlantic that's calling her name. Ellen de la Cruz, a teacher at the San Diego County Office of Education, was only 50 years old when a doctor broke the news. She had Parkinson's.
It was a real shock when I was diagnosed 4 years ago.
How do you get up in the morning and take it on?
Sometimes I wake up and I feel like I got hit by a truck.
You couldn't tell it by watching Ellen during her early morning plunges into the water to train.
It wakes you up.
Now 54 years old and in the fight of her life, it's time for the bucket list.
I've always wanted to swim the English Channel.
Ellen's husband, Ruben, wasn't surprised.
The Parkinson's diagnosis was definitely a setback. You know, it wasn't going to deter her or stop her from any goals. And, you know, she really kind of buys into that whole get busy living or get busy dying.
Ellen says she's 40 years past her prime. So swimming from England to France requires a dedicated support crew. What did you guys think when she said, I want to swim the English Channel?
Let's do it! Yeah, how do we help? What does this mean? How do we do this?
English Channel qualifying swim.
Sometime between June 26th and July 3rd, weather permitting,
6 hours!
Ellen will start her 15-hour swim.
It's cold, there's jellyfish, it's choppy. I am excited, I'm a little nervous, I'm a little scared.
When she says, I'm thinking about giving up, which one of you is going to say,
She's an ex-cop.
They all pointed to the former cop, Sarah Campbell, who recalled a rocky moment during a long training swim when Ellen said,
Sarah, I think I want to quit.
And I go, Ellen, you're telling me right now you have 3 miles left. You want to quit.
She goes, no.
And I go, put your face in the water and start swimming towards the buoy.
It'll take grit to swim the English Channel. The water is expected to be 57 degrees, and Ellen is not allowed to wear a wetsuit.
No, I haven't worn a wetsuit in 2 years.
You must be really tough.
I try to be.
21 miles across the ocean, Parkinson's and all, with her best friends.
Go, Ellen!
Rooting her on.
Go, Ellen! Go, Ellen! Go, Ellen!
In the Zevely zone,
Go, Ellen!
Jeff Zevely, CBS 8.
Ah, We are certainly rooting for you, Jeff. Always good stuff. Thank you. Well, we are now getting a look at the full lineup for the 2024 San Diego Pride Festival. This year's theme is Making History Now, marking 50 years since the first LGBTQIA+ marches in San Diego. The lineup for this year's festival include Todrick Hall, rapper Rico Nasty, and Grammy-nominated singer Sheila E. Current reigning RuPaul's Drag Race champion Nymphia Wind is also set to perform, among others. And here at CBS 8, we are a proud partner with San Diego Pride, and for the first time, we will be airing the parade live on the CW San Diego. You can watch Saturday, July 20th at 10 a.m. We will also be live streaming the parade on CBS 8 Plus and our digital platforms. For more information on the parade, the full festival lineup, head to cbs8.com/pride. Well, coming up, Crystal Pier is closed, disappointing many tourists and San Diegans. What the city is doing to get it back open. Well, this summer, we'll see the start of a decades-in-the-making redevelopment project in Mira Mesa. A $43 million renovation will break ground at Mira Mesa Community Park. The project includes renovating the rec center, along with adding an aquatic center, plus building a skate park and new playground. The new aquatic complex will have a 14-lane competition pool, a regular pool for everyone, and a splash pad.
This park serves many communities. It also is home for not only families, youth, but organizations like myself, Lao SD, Lao American Organization of San Diego.
Construction is expected to be complete by summer of 2026. Well, now to an update on efforts to reopen Crystal Pier and Pacific Beach. The San Diego City Council has now unanimously approved emergency funding to start repairs. $1 million will go toward hiring a contractor after the damage is officially evaluated. The pier closed last December due to storm damage. Recent storms and high surf further damaged the pier. We spoke with some tourists who are eager to see it open again.
I come down here every year for the sun and the sand and the fun, but the pier is a big part of my trip, so I really hope that they can, make the changes, do the bids, get the contracts, and get this thing done.
9-0.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, but we want it safe, so there is still no official timeline for when the pier could reopen. Well, before we go, CBS 8 wants to take a moment to thank you, our viewers, so much for your generous donations as we helped Rady Children's Hospital launch an in-house therapy dog program. We now have an update on how much was raised during our give-a-thon: $412,000. Wow. The money will go toward getting resident therapy canines to help the children at Rady's. It goes so far. And don't forget, you can still donate. Just text the word KIDS to 56512 or head to cbs8.com/kids. So just our generous community, thank you so much. That will do it for us today. Thank you for your time and staying informed. For CBS 8, I'm Jenny Day.